to introduce our next speaker. Our speaker for this afternoon graduated in 1981 from Hanyang University in Seoul, Korea with a degree on Bachelor of Engineering in Architecture and earned his degree in Master of Architecture from the University of California, Berkeley in 1985. He joined SAC International in 1981 to 1982, Norris M. Gaddis and Associates from 1984 to 85, and Bull, Bachman, and Stockwell from 1985 to 86, all as junior architects. In 1986 to 1989, he is the project designer for Field Pauli Architects in San Francisco, USA, and worked with Changzhou Architects, Seoul, Korea in 1989 to 1999. At present, he is the principal architect in Tae Architects Incorporated, Seoul, Korea. He was awarded honors by Duke of Edinburgh Fellowship, Cambridge University in United Kingdom in 2004, Director of Korea Institute of Architects from 2004 to 2005, and honorary council member of the same institute since 2009. Colleagues, to talk ASEAN era, a program for built environment, here is architect Tae Yong Yoo.
Hello, everybody. My name is Tae Yong Yoo. I came from Korea. And this is actually my third trip. And my first trip is January of this year. And second was February. Now in April, I'm the third trip. And before I started, it was a big surprise that your community is so big and so active. So compared to the Korean architect community, I think that you are well organized and very much envy your society of the architect profession. And also one of the reasons I came to here is because the vice president of the UIA, Yolanda, and she invited me. Very cross, okay. Almost kiss. So I'm thankful, Yolanda, and all the committee member. Today's the topic is design for future. It's a very difficult topic, but I like to share my idea about what is the design for future. Maybe there is many different thinking on designing for the future. So I hope the presentation will help you and could communicate with each other. So let me start my presentation. You can see this symbol. This symbol is symbol of Philippines. You probably do not know what this symbol. This symbol is basically the Philippine 2nd Battalion military unit who participated Korean War. And your Philippine military troop helped Korea in 1950. And more than 100 people dead, and more than 200 people wounded, and more than 40 people is missing. So that is my first thinking about the Philippines. But this is a symbol of it. Let's say this is water. This is water. The water buffalo. Water buffalo grabbed the gun. So this is your ancestors' Philippine military symbol, but I think that we should remember that one too. And second thinking about Philippines is regarding my father. And when I was young, it's probably late 50s or 1950s. And we had old pictures in my house, his study room. And that is many doctors joined together as the World Congress of Doctors. But that there is a beautiful building on the pictures behind. This well-organized, mathematically well-proportioned building. When I was young, it was so curious what building that is. That is also the building in the Philippines, Manila. So there is two things comes first when I say the Philippines. So I'm so glad to be here again. So first the theme is the title is Google. You know the Google, company Google. Is that company is architect? I should say yes. So I will show you why. Please look at this, the program they made. This is a so-called the program named Flux Metro. You can see that this is the city of the United States. The name of city, Austin in Texas. And then they made a program, and then they pick up one site. They evaluate all the parameters and conditions. And so the architect or average person can pick up whatever they want. They can show you the design. So do you want to, one more time? I don't know how to do it. So look at this one again. So Google company has a big data, many big datas. And then with their data and their parameter, they can design whatever they want. So they can pay the $100 to the program of a seed, the so-called seed. Everybody can use this program. And probably 3 or 4 years later, or 5 years later, the program will be more sophisticated, so they will design more beautiful design. So I believe that Google will become architect. I'm sure they have certain ambition to develop this program, but we are talking about the profession of the architect and the futures profession. What is our futures profession, and what is our futures design, and what is our role? What will happen to the profession of architect? This is one of example. There are so many the digital technology and the information technology will strengthen our profession too. So I think I will take this one very serious consideration for the future our practice. And this is a 3D printing building. This is Chinese maker. They made a 3D printing building, this big scale, and within a very short time. So let's imagine that. Like a normal people, just to get into the program of Flux program, which made by Google, and take out their design and give the Chinese people to build the house with their big 3D printing. I think it's going to be happen really pretty much soon. Then how architect is involved with the process of this mass production or design. So this is one of the things we have to consider, because the building should be, we consider that as a building is the construction industry, but I believe that architecture will be a manufacturing industry. You can buy it, which means you may not need architect, only small architects. So what I wanted to talk tonight is try to think what our profession will be. So making the program and design by Google and the 3D printing by Chinese company, that will be our near future soon. And this is a smart city. This information technology is not governing the individual building, also the scale of a city. So we do have like an urban planner and urban designer. However, the smart city is controlling every aspect of life. And then they have the advocate. They will control the temperature and the energy saving and many, many things. But I think a smart city will also make the people like a stupid too. And this is one of the examples of the master city. This is designed by Foster and Partners, and the location is Arab Emirate. And this city is supplied by all solar energy, so there is no fuel energy at all. They are planning that well. This is one of the ambitious the smart city project in the world right now. And even in Korea, there's one city plan, Songdo. There is many, many places they are doing the city. So as an architect, what can we do, and what we have to collaborate with the engineers or programmer to design the city. So are we really ready to work with them, with what basis and what quality and what knowledge? So it's going to come into reality pretty much soon, maybe 5 or 10 years. Then they may require different quality of architect. I'm not saying that there is the only bad way of the future of architect. So we have to be aware of that, how the other world goes on in terms of in the field of the architecture. So this is one of the examples, the parametric method, using parametric method, and the computer. So we're talking about the computer design, computer-aided design. And they have certain strengths, and there is certain they save a lot of time for people. They save a lot of time to the analyzing that all the conditions, and but at the same time they miss something. So architect for the future has to have they work with any programmer and also the computer things, because the computer doesn't deliver the sensitivity of the human being. However, the computer things will govern more and more to the practice of the architect. Now I'm talking about the so-called ism and humanism. What I'm trying to say that is when I was in the college or a young architect, there is many debate and discussion about modernism and postmodernism, deconstructivism, and then late modernism. I don't think these days young people, young architects, not really involved with the discussion with the isms. But how come this ism is disappeared? I mean, in the school, they don't really have a serious discussion about the philosophy of architect and the philosophy of the linguistics, philosophy of the art, because I believe that the ism is gone. One of the reasons is the same as like information technology, because modernism basically, as far as I understand, that is try to say to the world, a human being will take care of its own destiny, like an elite group, and then I guess the time of pride of a human being. Now it's pride is now replaced by, not by this art, but by like iPhone or Samsung Edge program. So this is there is no really need to have a strong like ideology and so-called ism for that. So previously, Corbusier's like a 3 million the city project, and second one is Miss Banderos like experienced the glass tower and Cigarette building in Europe, and like for postmodernism, the Michael Graves portrait building. This is kind of like a milestone project for each ism, but nobody really appreciated this anymore. But I will introduce the two architects. One is Enrique Miralles, who is a Spanish architect. And you can see that this is drawing. It's not computer-generated drawing at all. And so even though there is a mainstream is certain ism, belong to ism, but still individual architect, they try to keep their own way to reveal the extension of humanism and the human sense to the world, and try to push their limit to find out what is the shape, what is the spaces, what is the time, and so-called. So I like this architect personally very much, Enrique Miralles, and he's not belong to any ism at the time. He passed away already, but he just do his own, with his own individual vision to make his architecture beautiful. And this is actual reality of the picture. This is a symmetry design, symmetry for dead man's places, and I like this project very much, Enrique Miralles. And of course, you know this one, San Familia. And Antoni Gaudi, and then you may say that this style is a certain version of Baroque or Spanish version of Baroque, but I still consider this is a still individual aesthetic of architecture. So what I'm saying to you, I wish every architect has his own idea about what we do, and that probably much more important since the new age coming. So it's probably the way to strengthen each one's position that will survive for the near future. So, second question is, so who is architect now? Who is architect now? Is it really a little bit boring? Because, okay, I will show this very famous recent Apple's new so-called campus. So Norman Foster design, but I believe the architect of this building is Steve Jobs, not Norman Foster. And then there is a big power of capitalism, and the super elite group And the super architect or so-called star architect also follow their super client. And so it is kind of ambiguous who really designed. If say Steve Jobs say, okay, I want to show the universe with a big circle, the inside is going to be full of the trees and then all the ecological, the settlement, and it should be sustainable. But they have to be in one places and show the very simple, like an iPhone. Then architect design it. Then what do you think? Who is the architect for this project? I believe Steve Jobs. Am I right? Okay, second one is Google headquarters. It's in California. And this is Thomas Hartwig, and they covered with a fiberglass building material, oval site, and then they made the building design like a Lego. You know the Lego, for the children play the Lego. They assemble and disassemble easily. And you probably heard about this news. And the same thing is who is the architect? Is Haverick or Schmidt? This is the same thing. And finally, you know that Facebook, Frank and Gehry design, and they want to have no partition inside the building and the high ceiling, so they can meet everybody while they're working and then while they're the resting for the communication, easy communication. So this is the same thing. Who is the architect? Of course, architects do the design. So even though this is a famous architect, Frank Gehry, Hedwig, and Norman Foster, we could not find what is his idea on this project. I mean, so think about that, like in Philippines, maybe one client want to have a certain preference for architecture style. Sometimes architects follow them, but these days because of the power of money, power of capitalism, so it is not easy to stand up for them and say our own view of architecture. So this is right now what we are doing. What is going on in the world of architecture world. Like I showed that the Google provide a program, 3D printing maker, all the building site, and even this is a superstar architect, cannot really show their own idea on the building. This is the situation of architecture society in the world, I believe. All right, so next one. So maybe we should make an iWatch. This is a perfect example of the industry and design and money and need. So architecture should be this way. Otherwise, maybe we cannot survive at all. So this is an example of how the people to use, how people to produce, how people control the world. So architecture should have this precision, so accurate design-wise, functionally, programmally, we should have this kind of thing. I think in the near future, I think you will be demanded to create this one. The second one, this is a Korean one, but the Galaxy 6 Edge. There is a very strong spec, beautifully done, such and such and such and such. If we push this guideline to our architecture, what can we say? So, so this is the things what people normally want to see, and this is the environment why our community stand in. So this is vertical and lateral. And when we was young architect, they always ask me, what is your philosophy of your design? It's very difficult to say that. Also, it's very difficult to have that. But there is a certain like pre-thinking. Without philosophy, I'm nothing. Even though I draw well, if there is no philosophy, this is like make us like a so-called inferior complexity to be an architect. So to be an architect, I should be a good philosopher, and also I should aware of the many topics of architect, and also the design. We have to be very nice sketches, and otherwise, I think that I'm not talented for the architecture. So that is the one thing, but it's going to change. For example, this Tadao Ando's work, like Chapel of Light, and the island project. Whenever you see the Tadao Ando, he used only exposed concrete, superbly finely designed, and well constructed. Even his the exposed concrete it shine like a mirror, beautiful. But only thing he does for using the exposed concrete, even though he expressed his own spaces differently, but it's the same style. Everybody knows that, and he designed this. So every client want to have their one. He knew that they will get the same kind of the architecture. This is another architect we call Mario Bota. This is one of the Korean project in Kyobo Tower. He used that brick and block, and even the small scale building and big scale building, the same principle, and like mathematically is very precise. All of the number is well modeled, and we know this is Mariota designed. So even though you go to San Francisco and see that new museum, you know that who the Mariota designed, the same as Gary. So this is I call vertical, and same as to me, like a young architect, you should have your own language as a good architect. Is it still valid or not? So in the future, still do they demand that one? I think some of them should go that way, but many of them doesn't have to go that way. So architects sometimes binding us so badly in order to be a good architect. So you know this one, Zaha Hadid. And this is Tokyo Olympic Stadium, the planning. And there was a lot of debate on and whether this is appropriate for the city of Tokyo. So same thing, like they stamped, you know the stamp, signed the signature project all over the world, like Japan and especially China and Middle East. They have all of their own exhibition, the field. So I should say this report call. For future, I suggested more radical. This is some interesting figure. I saw this is one documentary program. And this is two telephone design. Left one is Harley Dreyfus. I don't know how to spell this one, but I saw his picture. He is an American design telephone. Right side is Bauhaus design. And I believe that the Bauhaus design, they probably try to be faithful about their own principle, like a modernism. And left side is more more like a real user, so-called pragmatic way. And the Bauhaus design telephone is 2 times heavier than this Hellish design. So I don't want to make, if I'm the like design for telephone, I don't want to make the Bauhaus design. But sometimes like having a certain philosophy for you is a help, but sometimes certain philosophy will like prevent from your designing the good architecture. So this is, I think, the good example. Whenever you try to like the good design with your idea or concept, keyword, sometimes it's not necessary to do that. So this is the things. Should the architect do the only building work? This is one of architects whose name is Tim Plantis. He designed kinetic sculpture. And I didn't bring the visual presentation, but I think if you get in the Tim Plantis, you can see the beautiful one. He's like an architect of New York, and he become like a kinetic sculpture and architect basis sculpture. So architects should understand or can they change their idea to the building, to the other area. And also this is a debate, very famous debate, you know that. There's a blue one. What is the color of it? Because everybody, they describe the color differently, mainly two groups of it, which mean your perception, people's perception is different to each other. Even though we said yellow, the color of it, real yellow, is different a little bit. So this is another thing. So architect can be imagined. Also, architect can they have to pay attention to another argument, another story about outside of architecture. This is one of the famous performing art. This is Einstein on the beach. Actually, the music on this, the performing art is very simple and very like striking. However, this is also, there's no like word on this performing art. And this is also, we have to pay attention. I'm talking about, as an architect, we should widen our interest to other fields more in the near future. Also, this is like a metropolis in the, you know, the movie. You have a deal with the architectural scene in the movie very much. So this is one of the things. This is another thing. So I'm wondering who designed that architecture building inside the movie? Who designed that the building inside the game? Maybe the programmer and graphic designer. So I think the architect should design the building in the game, building in the movie, building in the drama set. So we have to extend our interest or our participation to other fields too. Because like I said, before the first of this session, I told you that the computer and digital technology, information technology, made us a certain corner, and we have to negotiate with them and work together with them to make a better building and better city. And also, you have to participate more to not only for architecture, to like the other field of the world, music or like drama, especially the game industry and the film industry too. I think I will show one presentation which you might see, and if I say what is the future of architecture, I cannot say it as yes or which one is it, but what I want to show you is that the title scene of the drama. You probably know this drama, Game of Thrones. It's a title scene. This is very famous, and I love to watch it. But like I said, who designed the building in the title scene? Is he architect or somebody else? So. So, how do you feel? I think it's great. It's. I wish I could design some of this castle. I know the Game of Thrones. They have like 7 kingdoms, and each kingdom is identified. It's each own architecture and each own symbols, and so. My question and also my like a challenge to you is we should be the one who can participate of this work and to design, because the conventional way of design, you are losing your footstep, your position, and then you have to expand your interest, the neighboring your architecture. And you have to positively and then participate all the work, such as like a title scene work. And so only few buildings designed by architect. And among them, only really few designed by the so-called super architect. And rest of us, they still have like a human characteristic, in sense of the spaces. Everyone wants to achieve this on each building. But in order to do that, we have to open our side and then pay attention to more the prospect of architecture. So in the near future and for coming future, I believe that every architect will face to it. And there is one the novel in Korea, and regarding that how like a monk, the Buddhist monk behavior, behave in the modern society. So the Buddhist temple built their training like the places, the downtown and business district to transplant their idea to the general public. But at the same time, they send the monk to the deep into the mountain to have its own meditation. So architecture now is we are in the middle, but I think sooner or later, maybe we are faced to either we go to the downtown, or we go to the mountain to the search for like a pure sensitivity of yourself through the architecture. So that is my basic the idea. I wish I could speak English much better compared to Korea. So I will show the example of my project. You see, this is a gallery and residence project in Korea, and you just see that the Korean traditional building and modern gallery building all together directly juxtapose this thing. But the second building, you will see, this is one way to accommodate tradition to the modern life. It is located in Seoul, Korea. But the other one is a more different way of handling. So if somebody asks you to, same as like accommodate a computer to your design, it is the same, this is different but similar process of this one. So I want to listen this one a little bit. Sorry. It's just take long. The first one is Prokofiev, the normally Russian composer. He composed the piano sonata is 1920, around 1920. Second one is Samanlori, is Korean traditional like the music. And we found that even that first one, the Western music, and can meet the Korean music in certain way. We try to find that what is the shape of the sound and how they could be the emotional things, even though they have a different the principle to do it. So we adapted this kind of the experience to design one of the art center in Korea, and the design the space of the sound. So this is a Hurim Art Center, Hurim Museum, and then this is one thing is you can see the inside the corridor and many different like size of the building, shape of it. This is a museum to accommodate their all of antique, of Korean antique, very expensive antique. So we have to deal with the sound and music can stimulate architectural design. So maybe there was a little more project on that, but I think actually we are doing, some architect doesn't follow to that the so-called fashionable the ism or like the trend, and some architects is focused on their own work. I wish that is probably one of the best way to maintain your power to design for the future. So my thinking to want to be shared is look around more, except not only for architecture but also architecture related field. So same as like Asian too, because Asian is there is so many religions like Buddhism, Islamic, the Hindu and Catholics. And if you want to have empower your position as a Philippine architect, you have to understand them well. You have to listen to them well, and you have to try to look at them well, and to put that one to your design, and you bring all of your sensitivity of your body and soul be alive. That's all. Okay. Yes. Okay, I think this time is this. So I should say thank you very much for listening my thinking. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Architect Yoo, for encouraging us to be good designers, designing for the future, designing with identity according to geographical category.